Hey, real quick before we dive into the Hardcore Closer podcast, if you haven't already, jump over to hardcorecloser.com, sign up, and join over 20,000 sales professionals from around the world and receive free hardcore sales training every week after week that will help you step your game up. Now, buckle up, closers. Here's Ryan. Let's do it.
Hey, welcome to the Hardcore Closer podcast. I'm Ryan Stewman, the founder, CEO, chief blogger, all of that bullshit over at hardcorecloser.com. And this podcast is all about helping the sales community. That's right, that's you, the sales community. If you listen to this, you listen to this and you fog up a mirror, you're in sales, right? Listen, I'm all about helping you close more deals, because here's the thing. I was actually talking to somebody about this earlier today. I was having a conversation with a guy, and I told, it's so much bigger than sales, right? Sales is the mechanism. Sales is the thing that bonds us together. No different than someone having, mindless sports chatter at a bar or whatever. Us salespeople, we get this whole sales thing, really. But I do this because it's so much more than sales. Because I know that if you make money, you change your life. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. More money changes everything. More money will get your wife to respect you more. More money will earn the attention and the respect of your kids, your employees, your boss, your employer, your prospects, the people that are in your network, your family members. You can change lives. You can give to your church. You can give to your charity. You can give to people on the side of the fucking street if that's what you want to do. You can drive nicer cars. You can have bigger confidence. I know that sales, it makes you money, which changes everything. And that's why we do this show, because I want to change your fucking life, right? So listen, it doesn't matter if you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting. Listen, I've made this podcast and I'm dedicated to help you generate higher quality leads. You'll learn all about that today. Increase your closing ratios. You're going to learn about that today too. You're going to learn today, damn it, and show you how to charge premium fees and get fucking paid what you're worth, right? Because look, we're not doing this for free, and we're damn sure not doing this because we got some Ivy League education and we're born with a silver spoon in our ass, right? This isn't that show. This is the real podcast, the real talk about sales, the shit that everybody has to go through, the shit that everybody does, but like very few people want to talk about. So, hey, I'm just excited that you're here. Before we get started, when we dive into the content and all that stuff, make sure that you go and you review this show on iTunes, right? If you dig it, go over there and show us that you dig it. Like, we take the time, the money, everything that we've got to do that goes into this. Man, you don't understand. This thing's syndicated on YouTube, Lisbon, Stitcher, iTunes, a whole bunch of other places, right? It ain't easy to upload, edit shit and everything. I've got to hand a significant amount of money to the producer of this show. He's got to invest a significant amount of his time so that you can listen to this for your enjoyment pleasure, right? The least you can do is not be a lazy fuck and go over there and give us a review. And we'll appreciate that. We'll continue to make good content. Like, let us know that what Robert and I are doing over here is cool so that we continue to do it. That's what I'm talking about. Second thing is, a lot of people ask me about t-shirts and shit like that. They say, hey, Ryan, where do you get all those fancy t-shirts? You can go to startupdrugs.com. That's with a Z, startupdrugs.com. Hey, you can enter the code SD-BAMF. That'll give you 25% off, right? Save a few dollars on my dime. SD-BAMF, and that's startupdrugs.com. They got all sorts of, dude.
I'm just writing it down myself, bro, because I just got email one from them last night. I like the always selling. Did you see that?
Oh, dude, try not to spend money. I fucking dare you. Try not to spend money on that shit, dude. If you're a hustler, if you're a salesperson, which obviously you're both if you're listening to this show, like, go to that site and try not to buy a t-shirt. Like, take the challenge.
and bro, the t-shirts though are, man, this is becoming a commercial. They're gonna have to sign up as a sponsor of this jump off, bro. Right? Look, the t-shirt is top-notch quality, man. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to give my honest review on something, if I may. The V-neck goes a little bit too, like, deep for me. You know what I mean?
It's American Apparel.
Yeah.
That's how American Apparel is. Like, this because it's that brand. Yeah, it does show a little cleavage, dude. I'm with you, right? Like a little, and dude, for guys, like, there's usually that like little hair patch there, but yeah, it's the American Apparel style. I think you can get the other kind though.
But anyway, that's what I would do. Guido, you'd be looking mad Guido when you rock those like that with the hair popping.
Well, so I got Max over there to give us a discount, right? I'm already in talks with him, so I got him to give our listeners a discount. You just got to use SD-BAMF. You guys will fucking love it. Most of you have already hit me up and asked, like, I've been videos like, where the hell did you get that entrepreneur t-shirt or that salesman t-shirt? And that's where. So that being said, last thing, review Startup Drugs if you want the t-shirts. Next thing is, if you're looking for me, find me on Clixo, CLYXO.com/closer. And on ClickSo, while you're there, sign up. It's completely free. Dude, it's just way easier to tell somebody to go to one place and find you than it is to give them all your different freaking social media handles. End of story. Go to ClickSo, CLYXO.com/closer. Follow me wherever the hell you want. The show is on there on iTunes and everything else. And then my blog, all that other stuff. And then while you're there, sign up. Takes less than 2 minutes. I own the shit. It's fucking awesome. I fully endorse it. And if you could help me spread the word on that by sharing it, maybe even tagging me or this Hardcore Closer fan page in the ClickSo post on your Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, that'd be fucking awesome. Now, welcome to episode 12, baby. Dude, Robert, can you believe we've already done fucking 12 of these? It seems like we just started.
Oh, I had the mic off, man. Look at me, botching. My bad, everybody. I guess that's not good if I got to go into negotiations with you, Ryan, where I just botched the mic. No, we did just start, man. We've been putting these things in the bank for these guys, though. So it seems like we're a lot further along than we are, man. But we're just winding up. Yeah,
that's true. So, speaking of this, so this is episode 12. So we've been following up for a minute, and that's what this is all about, right? Like how to relentlessly follow up with prospects without annoying them and blowing the sales, right? Like a lot of people are scared to follow up. Most people call once, never call again. We all know that statistic. And we know that most people don't close until you contacted them 8 to 12 times, right? And so a lot of people, they don't follow up. Well, before I give you the answer, why do you think a lot of people don't follow up, Robert? Like, what do you think the number one thing that keeps a salesperson from following up is, in your opinion?
I think structure is a big part of it. Just not knowing what to say. Also, because here's the thing, and not only are there's a lot that aren't following up, but even the ones that are following up, they're following up with no purpose. They're just following up with like, yo, what up, man? You ready to do this? They're not. There's no plan behind it, right? It's just bang on them, asking them if they're ready to do business, or no action.
Yeah. So here's what it really is. It's because they haven't based anything on the relationship, right? So you need to be write this down, everybody, permission-based sales, right? You need to have their permission to sell them some shit, right? A lot of times people try to disguise themselves. They're like, well, really, I'm a salesperson, but at work, I don't want the customers to think I'm a salesperson, so I dress like a fucking pussy, right? I walk around in a big vagina suit, and that way nobody knows I'm a salesperson, right? And then you wonder why you don't close sales, right? Because nobody knows you're a fucking salesperson. So what you've got to do is you've got to set the permission-based sales standard with them. You've got to ask them, listen, I want to follow up to make sure that when you're ready to buy this product, you buy it from me. Occasionally, I'm going to be able to give you things like information. I'm going to be able to bring you the latest discounts and sales. I'm going to be able to talk to you about the latest components and the newest models. I'd just like your permission to be able to follow up with you when I have something that's important enough to follow up with you and not just beg you for your business. Is that okay? You fucking set that expectation with somebody. It changes the game, but you didn't just say, hey, I just want to be able to beg you for business every 6 months. You said anytime later components, updated models, we're doing closeout specials. Anytime I have new information, new arrivals, I just want to be able to reach out to you and let you know first when we have sales. Do I have your permission for that? Then when you call them, guess what? They're not fucking surprised. They don't think you're going to bug them. They're actually like, oh shit, this guy's probably got something for me or he wouldn't be reaching out to me. I don't know about you guys, but like I shop at Nordstrom. When I want clothes, I go to Nordstrom. I like the fucking place. I wish I had an affiliate link for that shit right now. I'd be giving it to you as well. And so that's me. I wear cheap t-shirts and then Nordstrom shit. There's no in between with me, right? And so when I go to Nordstrom's, you buy something, they like, and I have a card with them, a credit card or whatever the hell it's called, an account. And when you buy something from Nordstrom's, they start tracking, whatever it is that you're buying. And then anytime something goes on sale, dude, the rep from Nordstrom calls while they're having downtime. It's like, hey man, I've got these brand new Gucci loafers over here that'll look great on your feet. If you want to come by and try them, we're running them at 50% off because it's the end of the year closeout or whatever. It's fixing to be summer or whatever the hell, right? But they've earned my permission because when I opted into that thing, I said, yeah, absolutely. I want to know in the future if there's some good discounts and shit like that because I'll run my happy ass across the street and snatch that shit up, right? So a lot of people, the main reason that I've seen from experience, right? I'm no statistician. I'm not Jim Beckett or no shit like that. But here's the thing. I've seen it. Like people don't follow up because they haven't earned permission. But we're in a permission-based sales right now. You got to earn somebody's permission to be able to sell them something, right? Like, hey, you may not be buying today, but when you get ready to buy, I want to be the guy that you buy from. right? So anytime that I have special deals, I want to be able to reach out to you. Is that okay? I did that in the car business. I did that in the mortgage business. Anytime it ain't our time today, I completely understand, but I want to be your guy. So anytime that the rates dip and that something goes down, can I put you on my teaser list to make sure that I call you back and let you know that interest rates have gone down? Can I put you on my teaser list when I get a good trade that comes in? That way you can be one of the first ones that I reach out to. Right? A lot of people don't ask that permission up front. But let's talk about, so how much follow-up is too much? Well, that's a very valid question for me to ask all of you guys to think about, because a lot of you might say, well, 1 or 2 times and I'm done. Some of you might say buy or die. And Amy and I were looking at the stats for our sales team the other day, and we have like a 56% closing rate across the board, which is really nice. And she's like, but dude, there should be way more sales. So we're getting way leads. I was like, because we don't kill leads. Right? We literally do buy or die. Like, you have to tell us to fuck off before we will take you off a list and quit calling you. Now, are we going to call you and bug you with some bullshit? Absolutely not. Every time that my guys follow up with you, or my gals, whichever it may be, follow up with you, they're saying, hey, we've got this latest blog post for you. We've got this video. Did you see Ryan at Funnel Hacking Live? Hey, we got this free ebook that's come out. Hey, we've got this. I just want to remind you of this. We got this event coming up. Just thought you want to know because you asked before. Like, we've earned their permission to reach out to them, because they know every time we reach out to them, we're not going, hey, here's some bullshit. When I have an autoresponder sequence going through my blog, right? Every time I email somebody, I have permission to sell people via email. If they decide to close through my email, they will. But I have their permission to email them, right? So when I'm following up with them via email and autoresponder, and I'm giving them cool shit. I'm not saying buy my shit. I'm saying, here's a free video. Here's a blog post. Here's some information. Here's, this survey. Here's this test. Here's this quiz, like all these things that they wanted. Oftentimes people think follow-up means phone calls, and it doesn't necessarily. It should include phone calls. Fuck yeah, it should, but it doesn't necessarily only limit you to phone calls. Right. So here's the thing. It can include emails. It can include text messages. It can include follow up on social media, like all these different places that you can follow up with people. Right. You might have got a lead from Facebook. You might as well follow up with them on Facebook. Why flip them to the phone? That's a whole other episode of this podcast and a whole other deal. But why flip them to the phone when they're already in one spot? Right. So, follow-up could be your advertisements, right? When someone goes to my website, hardcorecloser.com, they bounce back to Facebook. Oftentimes they're going to see an ad retargeting them. Right. That's follow-up. Right. And I put that ad in front of you until you fill out the form. Then we call you. Then we follow up with you in different ways again. Different emails, the sales team checking in with you monthly. We make sure that you're in our Sales Talk with Sales Pro group, so we can incubate you there. Like, dude, we're working this thing all about follow-up over here at Hardcore Closer. And then we follow up after the sale too. We don't never fucking stop following up, because the whole thing with us is it's a couple things. We're doing the elevator to the top. Right. When you think about it, living in the penthouse, we're at the top. The elevator stops 14 times before it gets to my floor, right? So on each floor, it gets better and better, right? On the ground floor, there ain't shit down there but the mailbox and the guy at the front desk. On the second floor, the nice-ass gym there. There's lockers, everything else. On the third floor, it's full of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. The fourth floor, same thing. You get to the fifth floor, it's the nice-ass Aqua Lounge. Sixth floor, people start to live in the single units. Seventh floor is where people are in single units. The eighth floor is where people in doubles. Then ninth floor is where the penthouses start, and then so on and so forth. It gets nicer all the way till you get to the 20th floor, dude. And there's like this glorious freaking penthouse up there that I've been inside of. 4,600 square foot. It's awesome, right? Matter of fact, I was just chatting with Prince Fielder's wife this weekend through Instagram, because they used to be our neighbor, right? And she was saying that their place is open for rent. So the one on the 19th floor in my building here in Dallas is for sublet right now, because they did officially move out. They moved to another city. So anyway, back to the story here. That's the way that I work this thing when it comes to the follow up with people too. The elevator to the top. Right? You want to get eventually all the way to the top to where they're getting your highest and best services, right? When someone comes in and they buy a book, they're starting that elevator in my elevator to the top, the way that we sell stuff at Hardcore Closer, they're starting at the book, right? If we just left them at the book, they'd be stuck on the first floor, but there ain't really shit to see on the first floor. I already told you that. All the cool shit's on the 20th floor. So we want to get them on the elevator to the top. They buy the book on the first floor, and maybe they stop on the third floor and buy my magnetic media program. Maybe they stop on the fifth floor and they buy my ultimate inbound lead selling system for $197. Then maybe they stop on the 11th floor and they buy Break Free Academy Digital for $997. And then each time we're working them and following up with them to where they continue on that elevator all the way to the top. Does that make sense, Robert, what I'm saying? Is that you following me on this?
Yeah, man. I got you. I'm with it. Plain as day, man. Plain as day.
Sometimes when you're not drawing shit out, it ain't the same, right? But so on that elevator to the top.
The last stop on the elevator is they become your neighbor, right?
Right. Well, the last stop on the elevator to the top in my business is obviously them becoming a personal consulting client, because that's my highest charging product that I work with, right? And so the same thing, and if we didn't follow up with people, maybe they just buy a book, and that customer who might have eventually taken that elevator all the way to the top at a $25,000 ticket, maybe they just stopped at $5 because we never followed up. So we therefore lost $24,995 in potential income and revenue for the company just because we didn't follow up, right? So you let that sink in for a second, right? $24,995 lost all because we didn't follow up. Now, that shit ain't happening over here, motherfuckers. We're following up at Hardcore Closer. I'm just giving you an example, right? And so follow-up is important, and there's never too much, but you have to have – we're in this permission-based sales world, right? You have to have people's permission to follow up, and you have to have a reason to follow up, and it can't be your reason. Like, if you wouldn't want somebody to follow up with you on some bullshit, like, for example, I just bought this Maserati, or leased it. I didn't buy it. And I'm not one of those guys try to fake it type bullshit. I lease vehicles because they're fucking depreciating assets, right? So I lease this Maserati. It's not that expensive. Probably costs less than the Tahoe many of you are making payments on, right? And so I lease this, and the guy calls me after week one following up. He knows they sell Rolls Royce over there. They sell Ferraris. This place that I bought the Maserati, they sell all sorts of high-end shit. He's like, hey, man, I just want to remind you got a free car wash. That's a good reason to follow up, right? Like, it's a legit for me. It's right up the street. Fuck yeah, you can wash my Maserati? Hell yeah. Right? That's a legit. Do you think when I'm sitting there, a guy like me, a guy that like anybody who drives a Maserati or an Aston Martin or a Ferrari or McLaren or a car like that, when we're sitting at that dealership, all we're doing is dreaming about fucking taking home that Wraith one day? Tell me I'm lying, Robert. He knows. You get me in there, let me wash my car, walk around. I'm going to work twice as hard to get one of these goddamn Ferraris one of these days.
No doubt.
Right?
That's why when you're in the jewelry store, you're getting a watch clean or you're in any of that, they want to clean your watch, clean all your stuff, because then you're empty-handed, right? So they're just putting that eye candy in front of you. Yep.
That's it, man. Get you in there. And right, especially those people that buy cars like that and lease cars like that have more money to spend. That's not their last dime that they're over there freaking at the buy here, pay here note, you know? So, but anyway, so there's no such thing as too much follow-up, right? But you got to have a reason to follow up. And listen, if you're going to close sales, you're going to have to follow up. Most people are not going to trust you as soon as they meet you. Think about that. You didn't marry like the first person that you like met and started dating. If you did, holy shit, you're like 1 in a million, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know anybody who's like married to the person that they've been with their whole life, right? But they're married to the person that followed up with them the most, right? They committed to them the most and was there to make sure that they were happy the most, right? So if you're going to close sales, you've got to relentlessly follow up, right? Nobody is going to buy from you the first time they meet you. No, most people aren't even going to like you the first time they meet you. You've got to earn people's respect. You've got to earn their business, and ultimately you've got to earn their permission to follow up, right? So I think that it takes 12 times to reach out to somebody for them to really get to know you. But I think that it works like this, Robert. I think that, you know, the first time maybe I meet you in person, and while we're there, we connect on Facebook, right? We're right next to each other. I say, send me a friend request. You send me a friend request. Cool. I think that's 2 touches right there. We shook hands, we talked to each other, and now I'm your Facebook friend. Then let's say the next day, since Facebook knows we're new friends, it's going to show our post to each other, and you see my post again. I think that's the 3rd touch, even though we're not talking business, and it may have been a picture from the night before or whatever. Then, you know, that's that 3rd post. Then say I tag you in a picture later on down the road. There's your 4th touch. Then maybe I call you 2 or 3 days later or send you a private message on Facebook. And so I don't believe that you just have to like technically cold call or call somebody 12 times for them to like know you. But I do believe that you have to touch somebody 12 times for them to become familiar with you, right? And so that's what you want. And when I say familiar, I mean when people think sales training, I want them to think Ryan Stewman. When people think Facebook ads and funnels, I want them to think Ryan Stewman. When they go, man, who's good at sales? I'm going to go Hardcore Closer, man. You got to call that company over there. That's what I'm looking for, right? And I believe that it takes 12 times for somebody to become familiar to where you're like that person. And you can do that within a couple of days. Some instances, some people, it's a couple of weeks. But I promise you this, if you're just relying on phone calls to follow up, and what are you going to call somebody once a day for 12 days? Holy shit, how pissed are they going to be at you? No, motherfucker. Same shit I told you yesterday, right? What are you going to do, call them once a week for 12 weeks? Fuck, that is a long time to incubate somebody. I don't have that fucking long. Do you have that fucking long? Shit! But if we're connected on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, then they log in on LinkedIn, boom, there I am. They log in on Facebook, boom, there I am. They're on Instagram too. God damn, he's everywhere. Guess what? I'm becoming familiar. I'm everywhere. You know who I am. I'm familiar. And when one of your buddies goes, hey man, I'm thinking about doing sales training, go, ooh, you got to check this dude, Hardcore Closer, out, right? And that's why you follow up with people. So it doesn't have to be some annoying, relentless, buy or die, reco, fucking boiler room follow-up. You just have to be in their head at all times. When someone mentions real estate, and you're a real estate agent, you want them to say you. Right? When someone mentions mortgage and you're in mortgages, you want them to say you. When someone mentions they need a Ford and you sell Fords, fuck, you want them to make, oh, dude, you got to go see my guy. He's always taking pictures, fucking, someone says they want to buy a Mustang. Dude, he's always taking pictures with Mustangs. I saw him crash one last week. But so here's how I do it, right? Like, you can send, dude, I've got a whole list of things that you can find in the notes on this episode here, like my whole day 12 follow-up. Actually, I think, day 12 follow-up, where you can get in touch with them once a day and actually use my system. But you can actually move it faster than this 12-day that'll be in the notes as well, by just simply sending them a video. Right? All of a sudden, when they see it, if they don't meet you in person and they're an internet lead, let's say like I had a real estate agent right before we hopped on here. He was over at my house, good friend of mine, and he stops by and he says, hey man, will you help me with my landing pages that we're creating? So we got on ClickFunnels, and if you're interested in sign up for ClickFunnels, go to hardcorecloser.com/CF, and there's my affiliate link. Make sure you use that way, and I'll bribe you once I get your notification that you bought something. I'll send you a copy of my book. Because I'm cool like that. hardcorecloser.com/CF. Make sure you put that in the notes for us, Robert. And so the thing is, he came over and I was giving him a hand, right, with setting all this stuff up. And it was like, why don't you just, since they're going to be an internet lead that comes through, why don't you make a video? You're well-spoken. You know what you're talking about. You're well-dressed. You know the area. Make a video and send it to them. That way, every subsequential email and subsequential posts from the Facebook page, they'll picture your face, the way that you look, your tonality, and kind of have a quote unquote familiarity with who you are, right? And it's to make all the difference in the world, right? Because now all of a sudden when they read emails, they're reading them in his voice. Now they know what to do. They know he dresses this way. They know his accent is this. Like, they understand who these messages are coming through, to where they become more and more familiar that way. And they say, hey, you know what? They hear a friend at a cocktail party or whatever, and it's like, oh, you know what? I'm thinking about buying a house over in Midway Hollow. Oh, dude, you should totally hit up David and Richard. Like, it just works out like that. So here's the thing. Permission-based sales. That's the world that we live in. And if you've got a system that takes clients on the elevator to the top, now you think in a mortgage company, you're like, oh, it's one and done. We're one sale and we're done. No, there's an elevator to the top in your business too. The elevator to the top is they buy their first time homeowner house. Then they buy that property when they become middle-class citizens. Then they buy that retirement property, which is ultimately the one that's usually the biggest, right? When they're like just ready, they've saved up money their whole life. They want that beachfront mansion and everything else. That's that ladder to the top, right? Or that's that elevator to the top. So you got to be thinking about your business long-term. Follow-up is crucial. Why would you want your clients and your prospects to go anywhere else than you? Not for the sake of making money, but for the sake that you're the best. So there's nothing wrong with some heavy follow-up. Doesn't have to just be phone calls like it has in the past. Make sure you check the notes out on this. But real quickly, one more recap. Make sure you also make a review on iTunes for us. Go in there. There's going to be a link to it in the notes on there that you can find at hardcorecloser.com/blog. You can find this latest episode. And then also, if you want to find me on social media, go to clixo.com/closer. And then while you're out at Clixo, just like clicking around and shit, we just added all sorts of new features and stuff. Make sure you sign up if you're not already, and then tag me, like share it on Facebook, and then tag me in the post, right? I will like it. I will leave a comment, and I might even share that shit too. But until then, unless you got anything else you want to add for this episode, Robert, I believe I've dropped enough knowledge bombs for 20 minutes or so to keep rolling.
Yeah, man. We're good to go. Good work.
Word. Later, everybody. Let's go close some deals.